Topps, which is a storied producer of Major League Baseball cards, was going to go public in a SPAC deal. Didn't work out. But the thing that we're interested in noting is that they have been a bit more active in the NFT space as they try to figure out what the brand looks like in the 21st century when instead of holding a physical baseball card, you can hold it and flip it on your phone. So that's why we're talking about this Topps deal falling through. Kind of interesting that they appear to have gone with Fanatics, which is a big brand that may be a bit more crypto savvy not crypto savvy, technically savvy. So interesting to see this fall through. And I think just all that touches NFTs is not gold. And I think this is a key example of that. I'm going to toss this to Naomi. No, I'm not going to toss it to Naomi. I'm going to toss this to Will. I mean, when you see this, what bearing does this have on NFT discussions or the world of business more broadly?
The world of business, big question. SPACs in general, obviously quite hot the last year and a half, 2 years now. A lot of public companies looking, or a lot of private firms looking to go public, and this is like the easiest way to do that. You don't have to go through a lot of the regulatory hurdles. And then just for Topps itself, there's so much interest in sports, and then sports memorabilia, sports trading, anything to do with sports really has really just taken off over the pandemic. I think as people are locked inside, became really interested in things like this. So it wasn't only just like NFTs, it's also like physical cards have done extremely well this past year and a half, 2 years. Know a lot of people who have gotten into that game who have never been interested in it before. I don't know why it took off again. Bummer, I guess, to see it fail, but I guess it's kind of evolution of how these things work. Ben, I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, I was just looking at some data, and according to Renaissance Capital, since 2013, only about a third of SPACs have been fully successful in taking company public. So, like, SPAC splats are actually probably more common than we might initially think, even though they have risen in popularity. I think this does have really big implications for their NFT game, though. Like, obviously, we talked about IP in relation to NFTs and who has the copyright and all these other things that go on with it. So, if they lost their MLB trading card deal, and these players, with the union and the league, like, sign over their rights or license their rights to various people in terms of representing them for merch, for other stuff, like, that's a really big deal, and actually is maybe a bigger deal than the SPAC falling through. Is like, how does Topps go forward from here, at least in the realm of baseball? Because they do have other sports they're involved with, but this is like a really big question in the world of sports more generally.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that, MLB and MLB Players Association have people knocking down their doors to grant them these licenses. I think the one that stands out to me was FTX, right? They signed an ad patch deal with MLB umpires, and they alluded to the fact that certain experiences and whatchamacallits would be like licensed by MLB, MLBPA, and FTX going forward. We've already seen a big Bitcoin giveaway advertised as a part of that partnership, and it wouldn't be too surprising if there was some collectibles tie there as well. So the idea that now these sports leagues and these players associations are in the driver's seat as opposed to just re-upping the contracts that they've had for the past 6 decades is really interesting and speaks to the competition that's in this market right now as collectibles, both digital and physical, super heat up. Jen, so I saw your hand up.
Yeah, just before we move on to the next sports story, I was just going to say this is really sad. This company's almost 100 years old. They really tried to pivot and make it happen, and I'm sad for them. Hopefully they can turn it around.